Russ Heltman, All Bearcats reporter here, joined by UC offensive line coach Nic Cardwell. Coach, top 25 rushing attack while at Louisville last year. Had a Joe Moore finalist group at App State in 2021. What's been the key over the past couple years of having success in changing environments?
I would say trying to keep the scheme, very much the same as much as we can. We've continued to evolve every year and added a wrinkle here and there to the scheme, but really that and having guys that want to work hard and want to play hard. At the end of the day, you can put any scheme you out there, whether it's zone or gap scheme, but you got to have guys that are willing to work hard, chase the football, block past the whistle a little bit sometimes, play with some nasty. If you got a group of 5 gritty guys, you can do a lot.
Easiest, or maybe not easiest, but the least difficult part of installing your blocking scheme system paired with Coach Satterfield's offense, and maybe the hardest part about that?
Easiest thing. I think the easiest thing is understanding Coach Satterfield's expectations.
Okay.
He understands it takes time for it to continue to click and get better. With any offensive line, it's going to take time for everybody to all get on the same page. And he understands it happens in waves. He's done this before, putting it in at Appalachian State and putting it in at Louisville. And he knows it takes time for it to get clicking. And so that's the easiest when you understand the expectation from it. I would say the hardest thing would be when there's stuff that that the guys know, and they still mess up. You're like, oh my gosh, what are we doing? Coach Satterfield has always been somebody that doesn't want robots.
Yeah.
We don't want robots up front, nowhere on the field. Whether it's offense, defense, quarterback, wherever it is, don't be a robot, be a playmaker. So if you see a look that maybe you haven't seen before, you should still be able to make some of those adjustments on the run. And I think getting those guys to the point where they understand that, I think that's one of the harder things to teach in all of football.
How much more seamless does the install go when you have a guy like Luke Candro who knows what to do, has experience starting in it, and has just all of those snaps from last year to be able to carry over and kind of release by osmosis to other guys?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. He's a wealth of knowledge for our guys. If something comes open, he can communicate to the guys next to him and say, hey, this is where we're going, this is what we're doing. We try to keep as much of the same language as the previous staff so we can have some carryover. So we try to keep some of that stuff and then bring in some of our own, but as much as we can keep, and so we can have some continuity with the guys up front. But he does a great job communicating everyone.
I'm sure it's not something that you're paying a lot of attention to, but I did have On3 name you as one of the rising assistants in a piece from Matt Zenitz last week. Is there anything about that maybe I think my question is, with your growth in the industry, is it anything in particular that you can pinpoint, or is it just Nic Cardwell doing what I've done,
No.
doing the work, so to speak, just putting my head down, going to work, and just making sure I'm being who I am as a coach every single day?
I think you got to be who you are, but you got to be surrounded by good people.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Moore taught us that at Appalachian State. Coach Satterfield instills us that into the players and the coaches. You're only as good as the people you surround yourself with, and these players are the ones that are doing the work. And we've got some great coaches, assistant coaches, analysts off the field that are helping put this whole picture together. That's an awesome deal to have that, but it's really a tribute to the players and all the guys working hard and working together to get everybody on the same page.
There you go. Coach Cardwell, a couple more questions for him here, then we'll let him get going and keep preparing for a sold-out crowd at Nippert Stadium on Saturday.
Yeah.
Going to be a lot of fun. What drew you in to coaching O-line? You didn't
Always
play it growing up or in college?
Yeah, I played offensive line in high school. Okay. And when I first went to college, I was at center before they moved me to fullback. So I've always been attached to the blocking side of things. Had an awesome high school offensive line coach in Dickie Klein. Had great O-line coaches at App State and Sean Elliott, and been around some awesome ones throughout my years. Dwayne Leffridge, who's with the Falcons. Sean Clark, who's a head coach at App State. And, of course, Sean Elliott's the head coach at Georgia State. I've just been around so many great ones. But to me, it's the heartbeat of the team.
Yeah.
If I'm on the sideline, I'm the defensive guy, and I'm watching the O-line, and they're destroying the guy in front of them, and you see a big dude giving it everything that they've got, it gets you fired up, ready to go. I think we go as the guys up front go.
It's got me fired up right now. Coach Cardwell, everybody, thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Appreciate your time, buddy.